For the past 20 years, the Megane has been the flagship model for the Renault brand.
Internationally. For me, locally, the Clio, particularly the current generation, that really lifted the brand and got people to take notice because of those hot looks and just all-around good package in terms of pricing.
So I'm assuming that Renault's hoping they can bring more of that Clio magic to the all-new Megane. And judging by the looks,
Yeah, it's hot.
Compared to its predecessor, the new Megane is bolder and more futuristic in design. The standout features being the pincer-like headlamps and taillights that extend all the way to the middle of the boot. Renault has also extended the wheelbase and lowered the car slightly to give it a more aggressive stance.
So all that hotness from the outside translates beautifully into a simple but very classy interior. A couple of nice RS bits that we've got on because of the model that we're driving.
well, I don't know about classy. Here it is all sporty and in your face. I mean, they've brought that blue colour straight through the interior with all the details. Renault Sport badging everywhere, GT in your face.
I like it though. It's very nice.
It's very cool. And obviously, I think the key selling point here with Megane and GT in particular is how much you can personalise this car.
Yeah.
So through the new R-Link system version 2, massive screen, nearly a 9-inch screen, I can choose my ambient lighting, which a lot of cars can do.
Yeah.
But you can fully personalise the driving elements of it as well. Which
Well,
is
that's
key.
the important bit. But I mean, this is very Volvo in terms of the screen, just before we get onto the driving stuff. In terms of the interface, it does require, it's the same as Peugeot and Citroën have done with theirs, you know, with the touch sense buttons. Okay, you've still got it on the steering wheel, which is much easier, but there is, you know, you have to touch quite a lot and look where you're focusing. It is a little bit distracting.
I would have loved them just to have copied Volvo 100% because that is like such an easy interface to work. So this is quite complicated, but I think what is cool, obviously we are in the top spec, but if
Yeah.
you're getting into the entry level, the Dynamique, you're still getting the Link 2 system, R-Link 2 system, just a slightly smaller screen. So I think
Yeah.
that is critical. Also hard to talk about the seat quality. We in top spec and
Yeah,
it's bolstered.
buckety. Oh, they're very nice seats.
Wow, it is super comfortable. And I'm actually quite impressed with the boot. It's quite a deep boot. They've got a 17-inch spare wheel, which is significant. It's better than the Murray biscuit.
And they're shopping bag holders.
Oh yeah, that's critical.
Just to show that I tested the car properly, you know, it wasn't just about the sportiness.
Yeah, I mean the boy races. That's the first thing they tick off on their list. I want a
Shopping.
car that has shop. But let's talk about the driving because I mean I think the biggest point for me on this car is that first car in its class ever to have four-wheel steering with their full control system. And it sounds like a gimmick, but when you're driving,
feel it.
Yeah, and you feel it in your bum. It's bizarre. When you're driving at slow speeds, it actually allows the rear wheel to turn in the opposite direction to the front wheel. So it obviously makes it easier to turn and maneuver. And you literally do feel that. The minute you're going over 60 k's an hour, it's got a 3-degree turn.
Yeah.
So the car handles very well. The front end turn in and the confidence under steering is really amazing.
It's
I'm
a
super
lovely,
impressed.
yeah, it's a lovely drive. The only thing is, and that's why it would be nice to have one of the other models, is that it is a very hard suspension. It is very hard, but I mean, it's a sporty car, so I suppose you expect that.
I think that's probably where the GTR still sits alone. It really just is able to produce great performance but still be comfortable to drive every day.
You can set up this car though a lot more personally than you can in a GTI.
I'm glad you brought it up because one of their big features they're talking about is multi-sense. I mean, it's unusual looking little button here that when you push it, it takes you straight through to your car settings. This is stuff we've seen before, but maybe just not at this level and at this price. Comfort, sport, neutral is your normal, but I can go into personalization and I can literally change all elements on this car. I can have a powertrain that's sporty, but my driving system is neutral or comfortable. They've even got, which I mean, I haven't heard, they've got this engine sound design. You know, all the guys are piping the sound through the car.
What engine sound?
Exactly. So whether I'm in
That's
comfort,
the only thing it's missing.
oh man, but it's a 1.6 turbo, and I suppose that's where a lot of its competitors running 2 litres have advantages. But 151 kilowatts, detuned because of our crap fuel, it should be 161. 151 is impressive out of a 1.6.
It's a great car to drive. It really is fantastic to drive. Very, very comfortable, very sporty. Did you use the paddles?
All the time, because that for me, there's a lot of torque steer and you have the exact same thing in GTR and Club Sport, and the solution around that with the turbo is short shifting. So I use the pedals a lot, so they're literally not gimmicks.
Lovely gearbox.
Thank you. Because was that not the thing that everyone slated and abused the Clio about in particular when they brought out the RS? Is that dual clutch? It didn't feel like a dual clutch.
It is still their EDC system, but it's just obviously mapped differently. And obviously you can change that mapping with the personalization as well.
Love it. So Lindsay, I know you've got some reservations. I am super stoked that Renault sent us the GT because this is my cup of tea.
Yeah, no reservations on this particular car. I just would have liked to drive something in the middle of the range because this is 450,000 Rand. The range starts at 280. That's an almost 200,000 Rand swing. So I think those, the 1.2
The GT line.
In the middle of the range would have been better representative of what new Megane actually is. Having said that, nothing wrong with this.
Well, let's talk about competitors to close because obviously GTI is always going to be the benchmark from a performance perspective.
Yeah.
This does have a few trump cards up its sleeve.
It does. It's looks for a start.
Beautiful.
I think if it's purely on looks, okay, there's nothing wrong with the way a GTI looks, but this is a bit different.
Specification level for me, I think, is what's particularly impressive, especially when you consider the price point.
Yep.
You know, Ford Focus ST is like 30, 40 grand more expensive.
If you take top of the range.
Yeah, GTI similar. This comes with all that stuff added into it. A lot of really cool tech. So I think they've done a great job with that.
So you're taking this over a GTI?
That's the tricky thing. I think everyday usability, I'm going to take the GTI, but I think this is going to appeal to, there's a Renault fan out there, and
Exactly.
I'm one of them.
There's always people who want something like a GTI, but not the GTI because they don't want to be part of the herd. This is it.